Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we're here. It's another Tuesday night. It's a special show, 7 p.m. We're usually on at 7 p.m.s Thursdays and Fridays. Look for our regular show there. My name is Johnny Bottles, by the way. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter, and they are out in full force, coming at Dr. Don all day. We'll get into that in a little bit. What do you got for us first, Don?
Did you watch the Royal Rumble Saturday night? We talked about possibly seeing talking about the show Saturday night when it went off the air.
Don, I did watch the Royal Rumble.
What did you think of it overall before we delve into this thing?
Don, I fell asleep during the Royal Rumble. That's how bored I was.
And for good reason.
It was a royal stumble, Don. It wasn't a Royal Rumble. For me,
it really was. It really was. Alex, I have not seen the latest TNA Explosion.
Who was on that? Hang on a second. Alexander, who was on that? I'm asking because that ties into, if it's a special guest, of who we're going to be talking about very shortly.
I was impressed with what they did with the Women's Royal Rumble to a point. All right, so here was my issue, right? Jordan Grace was on the Rumble. Surprise, surprise, I was shocked.
She is the TNA Knockouts champion.
She is her champion. So here's my thing, right? The Royal Rumble's women's portion of the show was awful. It was so bad. It was rinse and repeat for every female superstar that came out. They got 2 minutes to get their shit in, and then the next one would come out. And they did this the whole show, Bottles. I was at my wit's end watching this. I couldn't stand it. It was driving me absolutely crazy. Did you notice this was happening? Did you notice this?
I did, and there are 2 symptoms of what's wrong with the women's division. They have plenty of talent. They've got great wrestlers. Even the wrestlers that you don't know their names of. And there are plenty of them there, Don, the lady wrestlers.
Oh, there's a lot.
You don't know their names. But they are all phenomenal wrestlers. Natalya Neidhart is someone who can wrestle circles around everybody. But she needs to be taken off the air for about 6 months and then come back, repackaged.
She's been there forever. She's known as Bret Hart's family, is what she's known as now.
Right. Now, you know the old saying, Don. You know the old saying, how can I miss you if you won't go away?
Oh, I thought
Mr. Cornette says that quite a bit.
That was if you won't retire. How can I miss you if you won't retire and have a comeback?
Right. She needs to get off TV for a while. I mean, when a new girl gets hired, Natty Neidhart works with that new girl backstage.
She puts them over usually.
And she puts them over, but she helps train them in the ways and means of WWE. She does it down at NXT. She did with Ronda Rousey. She did it with Jade Cargill. We saw clips of that.
Here we go. Check this out. Everybody's biting at the chop wanting to talk about Jade. We're going to get to Jade. I promise we're going to get to Jade. I promise.
We're going to get to Jade. The problem with the Royal Rumble in the women's division is you've got too many like Natty that you see all the time that you need to see less of. And the ones that you see less of, you need to see all the time to build a story around them, to get familiar with them, to see who they are, whether they can sink or swim. Tegan Nox comes to mind. Tegan Nox came out the crickets. For that matter, Liv Morgan came out the crickets also. But that's another story. We'll get into that in a minute.
I know somebody that was happy to see her, for sure.
He's probably watching right now, or will be watching, yes. Liv Morgan's a beautiful girl.
It's my man's favorite wrestler. He loves her.
She's a beautiful girl. I met her today for a dime bag, and she looked breathtaking with no makeup.
Either way, the Jordan Grace thing got my attention because she's a big girl, right?
There was another point I was going to make. When they do the old shtick of everyone's falling down, and the person that put them all on the ground is standing there, okay? What they need to do is don't do that. Have them fall out through the ropes, fight outside the ring, climb back in, do whatever, make it interesting. And when someone comes down, don't have a little 1-minute scrum with just 1 or 2 people, but with the new person that came to the ring. Just everybody stand up and just gang up and have a big freaking fight. A massive battle like they did in the old days.
This is what used to make the Royal Rumble great. The fresh man, fresh woman, they would beat the shit out of them as soon as they got in the ring because that was the mindset.
Exactly.
We've been out here, we got to wear this chump down right now. We got to get him down and wear his ass out. That's gone. Now it's let me get my 90 seconds of fame before the next person comes out and they get their 90 seconds of fame. Just one of those deals, man, where I didn't like what I saw from the Women's Royal Rumble, except for a few things. I want to talk about Jordynne Grace because she's a large individual. She's a big girl.
For someone that short, she's a big girl.
We have
very stocky, very muscular.
We have talked about Bianca Belair being overlooked as a big girl in the WWE forever. When she stood next to Jordynne Grace, she is bigger than Jordynne Grace, and people aren't talking about that. She is a big, big girl. She has got size. She's athletic as hell. I can't wait to see her turn heel because with that frame and that body, they're going to have to sell like hell for her. Bianca Belair is an absolute. I think she will eventually.
They've got a big TV show, with her and Montez Ford, her real-life husband, who's currently aligned with Bobby Lashley. That was going to be a heel faction. But they've got a Hulu TV series, a docu-series, about life being married in the WWE. And it followed them around for 8 episodes or 6 episodes, something like that. So it's a short series.
So that was good.
Well, no. It hasn't come out yet. Yet.
That was
but they want
now.
Nobody wants to watch heels in a TV show.
I do.
They want to watch the good guys.
I love watching.
So do I.
Britt Baker was a heel. That was one of the best shows AEW had. Was that shit with her and her boyfriend? But that's either here or there. She look. I think Jordynne Grace is being wasted in TNA. I'm just going to say it. I know TNA has its following. She looks like she could come to the WWE tomorrow and be a star. She has that look.
Dude. Her urine is radioactive.
I get that.
It would be, ever see Aliens when the alien would get caught and the blood would eat through the floor of the spaceship? That's what happens when they try to do it.
Belair is a female unit.
Female unit, Jim Ross. You got that straight. I'm referring to him as Jim Ross now.
She is
the Grey Goose.
She's size.
And you know who else is big? Naomi.
Yes, I was going to talk about that as well. She is much bigger than you think. She is a big girl. She's got size to her. Watching her come out there with her logo, that was cool. I like seeing that. Mm-hmm. Chris Cycler says Jordynne Grace is a free agent next year, so that'll be fun to watch, see where that goes. I like portions of this Royal Rumble. When Nia Jax came in, though, you knew where it was going immediately. She was going to have the big girl spot, and that's what she had for the whole thing. She deserves the big girl spot. She does.
She deserves it. She's worked hard. Looks like she can wrestle a little more now. She hasn't hurt anybody, and she's lost some weight. If you've noticed that, she actually has lost some weight, Don.
Yeah, okay, pal.
I'm serious.
I'm sure you're not.
What's that? No, I'm serious. Absolutely, I'm serious. In her first run, when she wore those, it looks like rubber spandex bodysuits, she looked like a stack of waffles shoved into a condom. That's what she looked like. But she just doesn't have that vibe anymore now.
Jordynne Grace is built like a filing cabinet.
She is built like a filing cabinet. Yes, I like to see what's in the drawer marked Q.
Yeah, Ron says he was confused with Jordynne Grace in the Rumble. Will there be more TNA people? I think you're going to see a little bit of an influx here. I think you're going to see it. I think the top stars of the TNA are going to start getting brought over a little bit more for big events like this. They have a Rumble or a Battle Royal or maybe a one-off, a surprise opening dark match, need I say?
Nick Nemeth?
No, stop it. I don't even know who the hell that is.
That's Dolph Ziggler. That's his real name.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Nemeth in TNA. He's in TNA now.
Yeah,
They'll bring him in. They'll bring him in.
They're not bringing him back.
They'll bring him in to sit in catering. They'll bring him in.
Okay. You're high.
What's that?
You're high.
Not yet. I got smoked that stuff that Liv sold me earlier.
The big thing about this entire match, though, was the debut of one Jade Cargill that I called back in like October.
Yes, you
did. I called this. I said,
way to
this
bring
is
her
when
in.
You bring her in.
That's how you do it.
She can't screw up but so much. And she had, and look, say what you will about Jade Cargill. She looked like $1 million standing there.
She did.
She looked great. It got a huge crowd reaction because this is how you build a star. You let everybody know, hey, we signed this girl. She's a huge star. Came out to a huge reaction.
I want to share something with you that I don't think you've seen.
Okay. I thought it was absolutely amazing. The big girl spot that she got to show her power off. Whew.
Let me.
The other women, did you hear the crowd?
This is an interview that she did backstage.
Yep, I got you.
I'm here with Jade Cargill, and what a massive debut.
Are we going to get black flag for
Royal
this?
Rumble, number 28 here in Tropicana Field. And, I mean, a reaction that I feel like was fitting for a superstar.
I'm nothing less than a superstar. What did you think was going to happen? Did you?
Yes!
The other women, did you hear the crowd? Like, they raved for me? I don't think so. But I do want to thank the WWE fan base because you guys showed up and showed out tonight. I am nothing short of a superstar. I am Jade Cargill. That was my first introduction. Get ready for everything that comes with me.
Well, the first superstar you came face-to-face with in that ring was Nia Jax, and it looked like you effortlessly put her over your shoulder and then eliminated her. It looked easy for you, but that is a feat in itself.
It is. I think Nia is one of the strongest women in this division, but she's not Jade Cargill.
No.
Can you see what I did out there tonight? Did you hear the pop that I got? Clearly, this fan base doesn't like her, and they like me. So, keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
It did take two of the WWE Universe's favorites to eliminate you in returning Liv Morgan and Bayley, who ended up winning the Royal Rumble this year. But I think that's a testament to yourself that it took two superstars to eliminate one Jade Cargill.
This entire locker room is full of talent. I thought I did my homework. I wasn't expecting Liv Morgan. But clearly I have to go back, do some more work, and keep it moving. I am one of one. I am number one. And I'm here to take over this entire women's division.
Looking forward to
What do
it,
you think of
Boss.
that?
Looking forward to it. She's a star. We've said it. We said she didn't belong in AEW for the longest time. That she was the one thing that looked out of place in that company because she looked like a damn star.
Let me ask you this: heel or face?
Oh,
it was a
face to start with, but that was
a
very
heelish promo.
That was a very heel promo. But
Right.
that's who she is. That's who she is, and she shouldn't change from that. The days of being all shucks, I'm glad to be here. The days are over, man. You've got to be yourself and let the fans decide if they're going to boo or cheer you. That's where we are now, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. Here we go, Chris Leather. Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania. Is that what we're going to get?
You know they are writing that down. As soon as they saw her in the ring, they were writing that down. She wasn't tentative. She was aggressive.
Yeah.
Basically, it's punch, kick, and deadlift Nia Jax 3 or 4 times and throw her over the top rope. That's essentially what it was.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive. And
here's
only
my
thing I
question.
can say. Go ahead.
That means she's not going to fight for a title at WrestleMania, obviously. That means Bianca's not going to fight for a title. So is it Ripley and is it Becky Lynch at WrestleMania?
Ripley and Lynch, I predict. Ripley and Lynch.
I think so, too.
Lynch will win the Elimination Chamber. That's how it's going to go.
I think you're on to
Nia
something.
Jax will not be in the Elimination Chamber match. She's going to be facing Rhea Ripley.
Yes, she will.
So,
Yes, she will.
and that's going to be a hell of a match. So, Lynch will win the Elimination Chamber and face Ripley. Bayley will face Io Sky with the help of one of her very close friends.
So, like we said,
everyone was waiting for. Everyone was waiting for that.
I was about to say, Bayley won, and there was no Mercedes Moné at the end of the show.
That's why when Liv Morgan came out as number 30, you could have heard a fart.
You really could.
From one aisle to the other. Yes. She received a shitty reaction, but she knew it was coming in. And you may seem that, why did they put her in that position? Why did they put Tegan Knox or Maxine Dupree in that position? They did it because they had to punish Liv a little bit. That's
Alex, I heard about the unification of the women's titles. That's never going to happen.
Oh, God, don't do that.
They want a Raw and a SmackDown champion, and that's how they're going to keep it. That's going to be that way now, I think, for the end of time. Just my opinion, I don't see a unification title coming anytime soon.
I liked the women's match, the Rumble match, and you didn't, I know that, but I liked it because of the Nia Jax spot, the Jade Cargill spot, and the anticipation of possibly seeing Mercedes Moné. Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her. Exactly, Don. Let's move on to the next one.
What the hell was next? It was the fatal four-way,
It was the
right?
four-way, the fatal four-way.
Look, so the match. Look, here's my thing. I liked it a lot.
Could have been on SmackDown. It could have been on SmackDown.
It wasn't embarrassing. I didn't find it bad.
No.
Nobody did a stupid ass spot. Nobody saw this being some stupid low rent, low brow match. It felt like a professional wrestling match. The end completely got me off guard. Completely got me off guard. AJ Styles sold it like he'd been shot when he hit that rope and fell down. He looked like, bam, done. That was it. I was impressed with it.
I heard there's a spot in that match that Reigns had his head driven down on the mat and got his bell rung and didn't exactly know where he was. Paul had to go and Heyman had to go and say, hey, you okay? What's going on?
Alex wants to know if I'll ever see Tessa Blanchard, Giselle Shaw, or Alicia Edwards in Rumble. You will never see Tessa Blanchard. You'll never. I
disagree. I think there's a story there with Charlotte Flair that will draw money. They will even bring back Tully Blanchard, and if Slick Rick gets freed up from Woo Energy Drink and AEW, they would bring him back just to be in this angle. Larry did his taxes during the women.
I thought, like I said,
hang on a second. Note to self: block Larry.
I was entertained by this match. I thought it was okay. Then was the U.S. title. The U.S. title actually caught me off guard. I thought for sure KO was going to walk out of this match with it. I thought he was going to win it. The Knuckles angle was a nice throwback to the face getting the upper hand and then getting caught. We haven't seen that type of angle in a long, long time, Bottles. You used to see it all the time. They would call it, the dusty finish, where a ref would come from the back and see that the face had cheated and overturn it. That was classic wrestling. I really like that angle. What did you think of it?
This is actually the match that put me to sleep.
Well, you were also tired. You were watching this thing at like midnight.
I was watching. I was on a delay. I was on delay watching this, and I just fell asleep. So I didn't really think that much of this match. I didn't care for it. This is another match that could have been on SmackDown. Okay. There was no big match feel to this. I don't like Kevin Owens as a performer unless he's in a tag team, because I think he's just he looks like a guy who's a dock worker that they brought in off the street to be a wrestler. That's what he looks like. He just screams, "Hey, I'm in the Indies." He's perfect for AEW. He could wrestle JD. What's the guy's name?
Funko Pop.
No. The fat guy in the JD Vance, is that his name? JD, the fat guy in AEW who is just
dude, you just described the whole roster.
What, in AEW?
Yeah, we're not talking about
He looks like I'll figure it this way. Kevin Owens looks like he should be facing Brody King. JD Drake. Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Jim Ross. I appreciate it. JD Drake. JD Drake. That's
I don't give a shit what his name is.
And Chris Stikelether is absolutely correct. They are saving that belt for LA Knight to take it from him. What a WrestleMania moment
that would be big.
It would be fantastic for LA Knight to actually take that belt, to give him a belt. He deserves it.
And that's sort of where he falls, right? That's where he falls, right? That's, I think, where he is. I don't think he's on the world title level yet. I think he's super over. I think you have to see if he can carry that for a year. If he can carry it for a year, then you put him in the main event at WrestleMania. Then you put him in. So,
yep. I don't see LA Knight right now as a main event player. It's not a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Not a lot of thrills, not a lot of amazing moves, or there's no drama. He looks like a I hate to say it. If you take away his talk, if you take away his promos, if you take away LA Knight's promos, he's a creator wrestler from WWE 2K23. He's a creator wrestler.
I like the idea that he's going to get the title shot. I think it's a good idea. I know Eamon doesn't agree. He sees him in a main event. I don't see him in a main event yet. I just don't. He's got to prove to me that he has staying power. He's been hot for about 6 to 8 months. Can you carry that for a year? Because Cody Rhodes has been hot for 2 years now. It is time to shine, which brings us to the Royal Rumble. We had some shit go down at the Rumble that is awful in the wrestling news. It's awful in the wrestling industry. Now, I guess we'll just cut to the chase. Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble. Shocking back-to-back. I thought for sure it might be Punk. Turns out it's kind of awesome that he didn't, because then we'd really be screwed as wrestling fans, right? Because then you really have a story that doesn't have a build-up. We'd really be in a Cody Rhodes wins, and then we find out after the fact Fragile Phil tore his damn tricep again. And Grey Goose, no one's arguing that LA Knight is a star.
He's a star.
It ain't been a year.
He's a star. He's a star through his promos only, not for his in-ring work, through his promos only. Don't get me wrong. He's no Daniel Garcia. He's no Willie Mack.
Oh, stop.
If you saw that from Rampage.
I will quit this right now. I'm done. So then we move on to Raw. Raw, which, by the way, did you see Raw's number? Holy shit.
1.9 million.
1.9 million.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. 1.9 was the average. I've got to see these quarter hours. I want to know what the opening CM Punk quarterly hour was. I would guarantee it was 2-2. I would almost want to guarantee it.
So now you know 500,000 people watch football on Monday night and they DVR Raw.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's about what it is.
Right. And if Punk was, if Punk would have had a match, or if there's another superstar on the show that would have appeared, like The Rock or Lesnar or whoever, then it would have went over 2 million. Easy. It would have went over 2 million.
Well, I mean, 1.909 is pretty damn good. So here's the thing, and this I want to talk about this, right?
Yeah.
CM Punk comes out. He's got his arm in a sling. He was clearly upset. Like, you could tell the dude had been wearing his emotions on his sleeve all day. He could say, look, my pal was, he's got cancer, that maybe put things in perspective. But you could tell he was upset this whole thing happened to him. He wasn't hiding the fact that he was upset about this. He was really genuinely hurt, man. This guy can't seem to catch a break. And you got to start to wonder now, is he closer to the end than even he wants to admit? Because this keeps happening to him. He keeps happening. And like Chris said, he wants them to do that, but it was there is colon. Punk keeps getting hurt, and it's not the same injury, and it's killing him over and over again. It's not the same thing. His promo was fire. He came out, he did a typical CM Punk burn the house down promo, and out came Drew McIntyre. And you figure Drew McIntyre's going to say, hey, I'm sorry you're hurt, blah, blah, blah. No, he doesn't. He said, I'm glad you got hurt. I was hoping you'd get hurt. And then he promptly kicked the shit out of him. That's how you be a heel. That's
it solidified the heel turn. It solidified the heel turn.
Yes.
He's not a tweener anymore. He's a heel.
Which is what we said 2 weeks ago. They should have had Seth Rollins come out there with that briefcase. Damian Priest come out, whack his ass in the knee with that briefcase. I'm cashing in. 1, 2, 3, we've got a new champion. So then, if Seth Rollins can come back, he's got a legitimate beef to bitch about and to fight him. This gave CM Punk, when he comes back, a legitimate beef with Drew McIntyre to have this match. Say SummerSlam. Because I don't know how long he's going to be out. Initial reports say 6 months. Initial reports say 6 months either way. Right? That's what they're saying.
Surgery, it's 6 months if it's completely torn. If it's partially torn, you can rehab a muscle. It can heal.
I get all
come back in 3 months.
I don't think he's coming back into 3 months. If there's one thing you don't do, you don't rush a 46-year-old man back from an injury of that kind.
He's only 44, Don. Let's not put the guy in the ground.
Okay, 46, put him closer 44. To the grave. I'm just saying, you don't rush the guy back, Johnny. You give him time to heal. That's sort of been the problem when he was in AEW, is they rushed him back all the damn time, and then another injury showed up. That's been the issue with this guy. He keeps rushing back. Give him time to heal.
So the Rollins injury, the Punk injury. Is Rollins out for WrestleMania? What's the status of that knee? Is it bullshit?
That's my thing. Why does he have the title if you don't know? He's not defending it anytime soon.
And they aren't talking about it. They are not talking about it.
No.
No.
Like Chris says, we know that Drew has signed a new contract because his contract was supposedly up after WrestleMania. That's been the biggest non-story I thought in wrestling. I don't think anybody doubted he didn't sign his contract. I think everybody knew it. The dirt sheets were full of shit. Which, by the way, your boy last night said, Boozer, your boy, said that CM Punk was not hurt, and then that happens.
I heard that. And Scud from the SCM even said, this smells like an angle.
I don't
Because
think it is.
when they got into it, he took his arm out of the sling and started whacking McIntyre with the bad arm. Why would he do that?
Because that's how you sell it as a face. I'm going to fight you even with an injured arm. It was old school. It was great.
Just give him a Z-Pack.
Yeah, that'll work.
There you go, Curtis.
I think that's a.
He'll shit himself in the ring and leave again.
I think that's a throwback from a couple of years ago when he was bitching
Yes,
about
it
that's
is.
what they get him with the staff.
Yeah,
Did you see Drew's CM Punk tweet today? I did see that, Mike, and it was cold as ice. I mean, that's a heel, baby. That's a heel. Sell it all the way. This episode of Raw I felt was great. I enjoyed it. The tag match was insane. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, I enjoyed the show overall. I thought it was a solid show. Of course, the one show.
Wait a minute, Wait a minute, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Do you like the match with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano?
I did. I truly did. No one was more shocked than I was. I was shocked. I'm sitting there watching Johnny same face and Tommaso Ciampa, and I'm like, holy shit, they're putting on a hell of a show right now. Where are these guys at every weekend when they come out on my TV? Oh, that's right. They have them talking. They have literally the attitude and the charisma of a clown. That's why. And if they have charisma, I haven't seen it on Raw yet. And if it's the writing, let them help them get their own writing over, because that shit's terrible.
The way the show was shot, the way it was paced and structured.
See, you mentioned this.
Very different. Very different. There's a lot of different camera angles. They had a lot of backstage walking to the ring promos, which they rarely did in the past. And you'll notice one thing I saw online today. Chelsea Green was announced by the ring announcer. Chelsea Green! Like she was doing for weeks and weeks and weeks until Kevin Dunn told her to stop doing that. It annoyed him. Now that Kevin Dunn's gone, she's back to doing it.
Did you hear the other big news?
Samantha Irvin, by the way, is her name, the ring announcer. Great ring announcer, I think. But
did you hear the other big news about Raw's announce team is permanent?
Yes, and I think
Pat McAfee is permanently back now. What does that tell you about his ESPN contract?
He's off of what is it, ESPN Game Day? Is that what he was on?
He was on Game Day. He's got all kinds of stuff going on.
I heard he's off at Game Day. And he's just doing the Pat McAfee show. He's still doing that. He was doing that before when he was color commentator on SmackDown. But Cole loves McAfee for some reason. McAfee sounded like he was drunk or all tooted up.
Look,
at the Royal Rumble. He sounded horrible.
He had energy.
Horrible.
I don't care. I liked it. I liked how he sounded. It's different because what they have out there lately, Chris says the highest peak was Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins segment. No, it does surprise me however he is, but the fans will take anything than what they've been getting at that commentator spot. It's been freaking awful for weeks, months. It's been god-awful. They did have the Seth Rollins.
I don't think so.
Cody
you don't like Barrett? You don't like Wade Barrett?
No, I don't like Wade frickin' Barrett.
Well, have you heard who the commentary team from SmackDown is now?
No.
Kevin Patrick's gone, of course. Michael Cole will not be there. Corey Graves has moved over from color to play-by-play, where he should be, because he was doing it the whole time when he was alone with Kevin Patrick. He was doing play-by-play, because Kevin Patrick would just sit back and do the old David Crockett. Look at Brock. Look at Brock. Look at him. Look at Drew.
Look,
look at Drew.
I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of Graves. I'm just not. I mean,
give him a shot as a play-by-play guy where he plays a straight, not as a heel, and you have Wade Barrett there to be the heel color commentator. And I think that you may have something there, a little bit of magic taking place on SmackDown.
So about the Cody Rhodes and about, oh God, Curtis, do not. Jesus Christ.
I'm afraid I got some bad news for you.
It's been a long Tuesday already, pal. Good Lord. The Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins segment, I know it was okay, but here's what I don't get. Don't try to sell me on the WWE heavyweight title mattering as much as what Roman Reigns has. You're never going to get me to buy into that. It's a secondary title. It's always going to be a secondary title because it's not always been there. It hasn't always been there. To me, I don't even know if it's above the U.S. title right now, quite frankly. I really don't know that. I don't feel like it is. I feel like the U.S. title has more stigma about it. There's something about the U.S. title. It looks good. It looks like $1 million.
Right.
I think it's their best looking title, quite frankly, because it doesn't look like you're putting out a marketing campaign. It looks like an actual championship to defend. That's just me. Am I wrong? You don't want to see Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, do you? Am I wrong there? No.
Not at all. I don't want to see Seth Rollins for a while. I'd rather have him take 4 or 5 months off and then come back repackaged instead of doing that gimmick he does. I don't like the gimmick. I don't like Seth Rollins. It's just
Who is he going
shit.
to face at WrestleMania?
It's the same shit over and over and over. I'm the innovator, the architect, blah, blah, blah.
On Monday Night Rollins.
Oh, my God in heaven. I just can't stand it. And the just dancing around the ring and it's too much. I like pizza, Don. I love pizza. Rolls, that is. But I don't want to eat them. I don't want to eat them every night of the week, every single goddamn meal. I don't want that.
Humble says Seth Rollins looked like Papa freaking Smurf.
He looked like something.
Who do you want to see him face at WrestleMania? Who do you want to see him face?
I want to see him face Roman Reigns.
No, okay. Sorry. Who do you want to see?
Cody
Seth
Rhodes
Rollins
is going to be on
face?
SmackDown. Oh, Rollins?
Yeah, who do you want to see him face?
I like to see him face Gunther.
Everybody keeps saying that. Everybody keeps saying Gunther.
Gunther, whatever you want to call him, Gunther. Have him face him, Rollins, and take that belt away from Rollins. So he's holding 2 championships. And have him put Rollins out until that knee gets fixed. Let Seth take 4 or 5 months off. Come back strong. And come back for Survivor Series. Or, dare I say, SummerSlam.
Everybody's saying Gunther. Everybody's saying it. So here's my question.
Yes. And then Don have a tournament at a pay-per-view.
No, I'm fine with that.
Raw
That's great.
For the Intercontinental title.
I'm fine with that. But again, here's my question, right? What do you do with the Money in the Bank briefcase? When does this finally pay off? Do you cash it in on Cody Rhodes immediately after he just had this match?
Yes.
Man, you're really wanting to piss the fans off.
Yes. He's come this far. 2 years. 2 years to get where he wanted to be to finish his story. And Damian Priest comes in and takes it from him. And then that belt will be on Raw because Damian Priest is a member of the Raw roster. Do they move him over to SmackDown? Do you take the whole Judgment Day and put him over on SmackDown?
You cannot have Damian Priest cash in and lose. That guy's too money right now. He's too
money right now.
He's over like Rover.
And what do you do with McIntyre? What do you do with McIntyre? Good job talking the world title up.
And he did. No, he did. But I'm not going to buy it because I'm not. I've seen what it is. It's a title they made up to keep it on Raw so that they wouldn't feel like they didn't have the WWE champion on Raw anymore. That's what it was.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it was. So
consolation prize for Raw.
I don't know what you do with Damian with big man Drew McIntyre right now. He's it felt like he was going in a certain direction, and the injuries now have just caused him to be in limbo. Like he's that badass just hanging around that you're not sure what's going to happen.
You take McIntyre when he signs, like Warrior said. Put that up right now. Like Warrior just said, when he signs a new deal, Warrior.
I'm sure he already has. I'm 100%.
Who knows? They take it to the last minute now. Endeavor does it totally different from the way Vince would do it. They wait till the very last minute.
Vince and stuff.
They wait till the very last minute to start negotiations for a new contract. That's the way they operate. That's how they roll. And I saw an interview with one of the guys say that. One of the guys, the head guys from Endeavor said that.
I'm convinced he did it. Otherwise, you don't get that promo you got last night from CM Punk. Cutting on when I come back, you're the first guy's ass I'm kicking.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a hell of a point. Though.
Otherwise, why the hell would you set that angle up? You're giving me something now to look forward to.
You go and have Drew McIntyre come close to winning that belt. What?
Go ahead. He says Drew and Sami Zayn as the blow-off match. Yeah, all right,
I don't want to see that match
here we
ever
go.
again.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
No.
I knew it was coming.
Never again.
And
Never
this is
again.
the issue. How many times have we seen this now?
Right. And what makes it different? Why don't they have a stipulation match? Make it different.
Loser leaves Raw.
Could be. Even
That would
Humble
be a
said,
good-
no, please, no.
I think everybody's tired of seeing that, man. It's gotten out everybody's last nerve. No one wants to see this again. They've done it to death. I don't want to see it again. I've had enough.
No.
I've really just had enough of it.
Love Sami Zayn. He is he's this newest generation's Mick Foley, I think. Great promos, kind of funny, witty guy. Hell of a beard. He's a likable nebbish who always gets his ass kicked, but he comes back strong. He always gets revenge. But too much with Drew McIntyre. I want to see Drew McIntyre get so close to that title. Maybe even win that title.
Which one?
And then one of the Raw heavyweight title. Maybe have him win it. Maybe have a three-way. Rollins, McIntyre, and who else can we put against him? Not Cody.
Well, Rollins, McIntyre, you'd have Gunther, you said. You want Gunther?
Gunther. Have those three guys. Maybe even have McIntyre win the belt and have Priest come in.
And then he cashes that in.
And McIntyre goes completely batshit crazy.
That would be cool. Like, there's
Just
ways
a
to do this.
6'5" wrecking machine comes into the arena, throwing cameramen around, beating people up, smacking Adam Pearce, throwing guys into the first row, just wailing at people, just going nuts.
I like it. I can see that.
So
that was Raw. It was okay. I liked it. The last match, of course, left me a lot to be desired.
Loser buys Tim Hortons.
Loser
buys Zaxby's.
Did you see Jordan Grace's comment about one Bianca Belair today?
Yes. She would like to see her come to TNA.
Has she lost her freaking mind?
I told you this, and it was mentioned in the chat. Someone said, I think WWE has a stake in TNA. Not WWE. TKO Sports has a stake.
They are not putting one of their biggest female stars on that show. What they will do is bring up one of TNA's biggest stars up to their main show. Why in the hell would I send a freaking $300 piece of Wagyu steak down to the local steakhouse so they can throw A1 sauce all over that shit? No, you bring me your steroided chick and I'll do something with her. I'm not sending you my gold so you can melt it down and sell it for copper prices.
Hang on a second. TKO Sports, Endeavor, whatever you want to call it, has, I believe, a 12% stake in a little thing called TNA Plus. That's a TNA streaming service.
Awesome.
TKO Sports has threw a little seed money into to get it up and running. So, TKO Sports also owns the WWE. They're going to go ahead and throw one of their big names on a TNA pay-per-view to draw some extra money to it. Then you can also bring Jordan Grace over.
Okay.
Again,
are you
the
just
WWE to face Bianca Belair.
balls everywhere? Are you just chasing foul balls?
What are you saying?
Is it foul ball season?
Why are you saying that?
Because these are foul balls you're chasing everywhere. Foul balls everywhere. I'm doing some math real quick.
Go ahead. You do math, and I'll put up, let's see. Warrior JWR, you guys think TNA has a relationship with TKO like ECW had with WWF back in the day? Well, in a roundabout way, because, like I said, TKO invested money into TNA Plus before they purchased the WWE. So, with that being said, there's going to be a little reciprocity. Reciprocity is the word I'm looking for. That's a $10 word right there.
So here's my question.
Reciprocity between the brands, and they can do that. Why do you think it was so easy for Jordan Grace to waltz right in? Go ahead.
You say they have 12% stake. 12% stake in TNA.
That's what I heard.
Okay. 12% stake.
In the streaming, Don.
Hold on.
Because I'm
the streaming
service.
No, sir.
In the streaming service.
No, I'm comparing it to the streaming service of Netflix that just signed a $500 million deal.
Go ahead.
You're going to tell me that 12% isn't more important than their shitty little thing in TNA? You're going to risk one of your biggest stars? Just say she's worth 10%. You're going to risk your $50 million star for this 12% shit product?
She's
You're
not a $50 million star. What $50 million
I'm just saying,
star?
I'm comparing numbers. Even if they were only worth 10% of what they have, it's far more than what they've got invested in this TNA product.
You're being
You're
ridiculous
not doing
now.
no. You're being ridiculous
now. They're risking a big star every time the big star gets into the ring. You see how people get hurt.
So you risk it in your ring. You risk it in your ring.
CM Punk took what? He took some kind of move from Drew McIntyre and tore his bicep.
DDT.
It's whatever. You risk a star every time they get into the ring.
You don't risk it in another company's ring. Otherwise, you end up like TNA, or not TNA, but AEW, where their guys are going over to New Japan and breaking shit. You're not. This is never going to happen. This is crazy foul ball territory.
It's going to
happen. You're
happen.
not sitting. It's never going to happen. You are never going to see a top WWE star wrestle on a TNA show. It is not going to happen. Absurd. Absurd.
You're a hateful man. You know that?
You are playing left field, and I told you to be playing catcher.
I'm not.
That's what's going on. You are in left field with a catcher's mask on, get bashed in the face by every baseball coming your way.
You watch what happens. I think it would be great for business. Bianca Belair goes over to TNA, cuts a promo in the ring with Jordynne Grace. The place goes crazy. The TNA streaming service goes crazy. They have a pay-per-view match. TNA Plus, strictly with TNA Plus. It goes through the roof and buys because she's on it. She means more than what Naomi
Who
would
cares
need.
if it goes through the roof? So you sell 80,000 cells. Who cares? And then she blows out her knee and you're out of star for $2 million.
She could blow out her knee on Raw, just wrestling,
Colin, I'll agree with this. I'll agree with that. They would send them to talk. If you want one of the wrestlers to wrestle, it's going to be a mid-card or lower person.
On TNA programming. But on a PLE, on TNA Plus, you would have a big star do it.
Dan, I agree. She has to act as the champion, that she's her equal. I get that. I don't mind that. But the mere thought of that is laughable to me. Laughable.
We'll see what happens, Don.
As long as they don't wrestle. That's fine. Don't wrestle. Show up on their card, talk shit, and say, come to WrestleMania. I'll beat your face in, bitch. Who told you it was open mic night, bitch? Have that moment. That would be fun.
What's Alexander saying here? It's better for a TNA wrestler in a WWE ring or vice versa than any eight. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's true.
Well, because they want to do flips. And by the way, what was his name that almost broke his neck Saturday night? Good God.
Willie Mack, the great Willie Mack, who is a journeyman wrestler, a veteran. He's actually a TNA veteran.
If you guys didn't see this, go out of your way to find this thing. This dude tried to do a half backflip thingamajig and landed straight on his head.
I watched it again today. It looked like he tried to do a standing shooting star press and nearly broke his own neck.
He's lucky he didn't. By the way, did you see the ratings for the Saturday night show?
300,000.
300,000. That's not good.
Not good at all.
Not good. You remember we talked about that Little People show debuting here in a few weeks? Well, it debuted last week.
Big Little Brawlers.
Yeah. It did 333,000. It beat AEW Saturday. I swear to God.
They're the new number 2 promotion?
They beat AEW's Saturday night show with the Little People matches. I kid you not.
You got WWE, you got BLB, and now you have AEW and TNA. Big Little Brawlers is the new number 2 promotion in the United States.
It comes on at 10 o'clock, too, on Tuesdays. It's coming on at night. I'm finding this and DVRing this show. I have to see what this shit's about. This has to be just utter chaos. I know it. I got to watch this.
I can't watch that stuff, pal. I can't watch that stuff.
Johnny, I think I've covered all the news I got. Do you have any other news tidbits you want to cover?
I've got a few fun things on Twitter, pal.
Oh, they're fun?
Yeah, pal.
Is it going to consist of TNA sending or a WWE sending stars to TNA to wrestle on their mud show?
TNA's not a mud show, pal. They're a very, very well-produced program. No one is breaking their neck on TNA programming, pal.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, no one's diving off of out of a cage through 4 tables.
Scott
for
said
shits
the man's
in front of
gotta
700
eat.
people.
You can't do a standing
Into the
moonsault.
standing moonsault.
Jesus.
The Chokeslam
Oh.
Wrestling Report. The Chokeslam
But who wants to
Wrestling
know if you're going to
Report.
talk about more Rebby Hardy?
Fucking Rebby Hardy. Rebby Hardy's been kind of quiet. The whole Matt Hardy, Rebby Hardy thing has been a little laid back. It's been a little quiet right now.
It's gone real quiet, real fast, and suddenly,
The rumor
Hardy's
is Matt
all
Hardy.
over the thing.
The rumor is that Matt Hardy had appeared at the house with several bouquets of flowers, and he's trying to get back in. So,
well, good for him.
Look what Colin said. Matt broke his Twitter silence opposed to picking them together. Hopefully, they ironed everything out. Larry said he reined her in.
Sure.
Larry had a play date with her. He defiled her
All
and
right,
told her
no,
the
we're
way
not
it
going
was.
there. We're not going
And,
there. No, not doing that. There's
The
been enough of that
lawsuit
this
against
week in
Block
wrestling.
Larry will follow soon from Reddy Hardy.
Yeah, we're not doing that. What's your piece of news you want to show me here? What are we looking at?
It was from Chris Jericho, who retweeted the Chokeslam
Oh yeah, I
Wrestling
saw he's
Report.
back.
Yes, he's just retweeting right now. The Chokeslam Wrestling Report was retweeted by Jericho with this comment. I want to see the same energy on Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon the same way everyone jumped on Chris Jericho. And the bogus Nick Houseman report. This is a blackout and TKO in WWE 2 days before the Rumble. This is the same thing to happen to AEW a day before World's End.
Okay,
Chris
Vince
Jericho.
McMahon's gone. What else does he want?
Don't know what to tell you, pal. But
He's
let me
gone.
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, he's gone. I honestly
gone.
don't even want to cover that anymore because it's going to be beat to death, and they'll have their day in court.
Here's the Rampage crowd in front of 750 people.
Oh God, we're going to get hit for this.
Right now.
Look at that.
It's a good crowd.
750 people, Don.
That's sad.
It's not good.
No, it's not.
Dave Meltzer he had a comment on the Royal Rumble Media Scrum, which is available in Peacock. It's still up, by the way. If you want to see Triple H's reaction,
Yeah, you know what?
Cody
I wanted to
Rhodes'
see. I
reaction.
wanted to read some of that. I wanted to see some of that. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Well, Dave Meltzer commentated on this. He said, your father-in-law was just accused of sex trafficking and rape. Everyone knows how much I personally like Paul, but this was bad. The most powerful man in the history of business was just removed and disgraced. This
Can
was
we
really
move on
bad.
from this now? It's just, he's not the one being accused. Ask Vince McMahon. Stop asking people around him. That's like your father-in-law committing murder. They're being like, did you know he was killing people? Leave it alone. Ask him. I'm done with that.
Cody Rhodes is going to be on SmackDown this Thursday, Don.
Is he really? I did not see that.
Yes. Which would lead me to believe he's going to be facing Roman Reigns.
Cody Rhodes, look in your heart and ask yourself, what kind of champion do you want to be? Do you want to be like the Ultimate Warrior?
Colin said it's going to be a great 2024 for AEW. They're trying to get 24 people in the arena.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Yes. Don, let me ask you this question. Vince is gone. Had to resign in disgrace again. Brock Lesnar's gone. Rollins is hurt. Punk's hurt. Do you foresee Brock Lesnar?
Why, by
wrestling
the way,
for
if you want to come in here
WWE?
and talking shit on this network, I'm going to block your ass right away and get rid of you. So see you later, Snake Eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck him.
All right.
Get your own show, then talk shit.
Where do you foresee Brock Lesnar,
I don't know. Like this
his
what I mean.
career
Like,
in the WWE? He's under contract still.
I don't know, and I'm not going to worry about it. To be quite honest, I'm really not. I'm really not. Like all of that shit outside of wrestling, I'm not worried about. It's not my business, and we covered it enough this week. We had our 2 cents. I don't know what happened. You don't know what happened. We weren't there. No one else was there.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to go around accusing him of being guilty. I am saying that, look, clearly she was implicating him in what she wrote. She only charged 2 men, though. She could have named him, and she didn't. So I'm not going down that road.
We talked about this off the air earlier today. I don't foresee this going to court at all. Even though they filed a court case, I think that Vince right now has several high-powered attorneys, and he's going to go, because money's no object to this man.
Not right now. It's
plainly, as you could see. And he's going to settle out of court with her for a pretty high amount of money just to make it all go away. And you'll never hear from who knew what, because if it goes to court, they're suing the WWE as well
You're gonna have to name too many
Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon. They're suing
and then you got to start calling witnesses.
Yes. And who knew what? Let's call Triple H. Let's call who else? Who else can?
I'm not even going down the street. They could call anybody.
Stephanie
Which, by the
McMahon.
way, here's the real question, right? Like the trial's not here. That's all it would be. Who's getting fired? Like right now in the next week or so.
They're conducting an internal investigation.
There's going to be names that are going to say you're out of here. That much I believe is going to be true.
Endeavor is conducting an internal investigation to see who knew what and if anyone else partook of this. And they're going to be out the door. Look at Kevin Dunn. Rumor that was going around was Kevin Dunn, his this is strictly hypothetically, well, I can't say hypothetically. This is strictly a rumor.
Rumored.
That's all I'm going to say. Kevin Dunn was hooked up with Dana Brooke. That's the story that was just floating around the internet.
I believe that.
It's only a rumor. It's allegedly.
This is the shit that I can't stand about wrestling, Johnny. There's no validation for any of this shit, and people are going to say whatever they want. That's how the Dave Meltzers of the world get by, because they hear a little piece of a nugget, they frickin' run with it.
Well,
if this has been, look, here it is. If this has been going on as allegedly as long as it has been said to be going on, and Dave Meltzer hasn't gotten one iota of a lick of information about this, how good is he really at his job?
I told you this, and I told you this in the past, and people in the chat room will even back me up. Meltzer knows nothing now what goes on in the WWE. He gets up and he just searches the internet for WWE, TKO Sports. He Google searches and see if he can find any nugget of information that he can. He has no contacts in the WWE whatsoever. Zero. They all aged out. Flair, Jericho, Lance Storm, X-Pac, all those guys, they've all aged out of the WWE. No one knows anything.
Grey Goose, you want to know why he has credibility? Because a long time ago, he actually did have a pretty good dirt sheet, where all the wrestlers were feeding him information in the 80s and 90s, and even the early 2000s, they were feeding him information. Guys that weren't happy with what was going on backstage or weren't happy with their booking plans, like, I don't know, Bret Hart, would feed him every little piece of information that they felt could get them over. That's how.
This is how long this guy's been around. In the late 1970s, he had a shitty little dirt sheet they typed up and mailed out to people and Xeroxed it. It was called the Wrestling Observer. There was a sports newspaper about the time of the independent newspapers came out, like USA Today, and you saw a lot of these boxes all floating around. Different independent newspaper companies had their own newspapers that they would put out in convenience stores, grocery stores, boxes outside of, it was called The National. That was what it was called. Strictly sports, called The National. I think it was 75 cents or $1 or whatever.
Wasn't this in San Francisco?
Meltzer, what's that?
Wasn't it San Francisco where he got to start?
It was nationwide.
Yeah, but I mean where he was living was San Francisco at the time, I think.
Meltzer was, he was a California guy, so probably, yeah. He had he had a column in The National every week called The Wrestling Observer, where it wouldn't be a lot of detail, he would cover the big story and comment on it. And with the money he made from that, he upped his game, and more people subscribed to the Wrestling Observer because he plugged it in The National. Oh, no. And I was a subscriber to the Observer for years. I
had it for a while too in the 90s. I had it too. When it went digital, I had an email copy. I had one of the first email copies, and I got it for free somehow for like a decade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was big business. Even the guys in the business, which a lot of people know, were subscribers to the Wrestling Observer. And as they saw what was coming through, those guys would contact Meltzer and tell them, hey, you're wrong about this. This is who I am. I'm Chris Colt or, Jack Falkman. And this is what happened we were sitting here, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened in the ring. This is what happened backstage. You were wrong about this, but you were right about that. And he would take that info and he would develop friendships with some of these guys. Ric Flair was one of his top 3. Chris Jericho was another. Bret Hart, yep. All the big names were all feeding him info. And a lot of those guys were doing it.
In hopes of bettering their career.
What's that?
In hopes of bettering their career.
And extending their career. They were looking for more money. They would feed information to Meltzer and expose the business in hopes that, they would get bigger paychecks, bigger contracts, that sort of thing. So
anyway,
Meltzer right now just dreams shit up. Unless it's AEW related. He's got the hotline to AEW.
He does have the hotline there. Call Dave Meltzer now. Bottles, are we going to do a show Thursday?
Don't we usually do a show Thursday?
Usually, making sure. Checking in. Is your hostage situation over? Are you back in line?
Hey,
are you in the house?
Did my fucking sound go out? Why you got to stir the shit? Let me ask you this, Don. When you stir the shit, do you do it clockwise or counterclockwise? I just want to know.
Depends on if I'm in Australia or not. It's different there,
The Coriolis effect is different.
It is.
It is. But a lot of people don't realize that. Water swirls down the drain in Australia differently from the way it swirls down the drain.
It goes backwards from what you see in here.
It goes backwards. It goes ass backwards. Like AEW booking. It goes ass backwards. What are we going to talk about on Thursday, Don? Whatever big stories are out there. We're going to review Dynamite, of course, which will be a shit show. And what's it say? Mr. Alex 789.
By the way, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. We really appreciate your support. Like and subscribe. That subscribe button goes a long way. We're halfway to where we're trying to get to, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get there soon. I'm not touching on this no more. I'm not doing it.
We're going to let it go? It's a hot button.
I'm going to let it go. I know. I'm going to let it. I said what I got to say. People are going to say a lot of things about this, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what kind of mental state this woman's in. I don't know what kind of mental state Vince is in. I don't know them. I just know what's been accused. And I've also heard that there's some sort of a false memory syndrome she's got, but I'm not going to touch that because I don't know.
It's all going to be hashed out in a court of law or will be taken away from it will be snatched from the jaws of the legal system by a hefty settlement. You're right, Colin. By a hefty settlement through Vince McMahon. I think that's still going to be the way to go. You're not going to hear any more about this. They'll settle out of court, and people will say, what happened to that? Whoops.
Yeah.
And then 2 years from now, Vince McMahon will be worm food.
Johnny, get us out of here. It's time to go. Thank you all for watching.
Hang on a second. Don, can I say one more goddamn
thing
before you cut me off like you did Friday night? Oh, well, I'm trying to eat my pizza rolls. You pulled me away from a platter of pizza rolls.
Keep stuffing them. Keep stuffing them.
I keep mentioning the pizza rolls, Don. I'm trying to get that lucrative Tostino's ad revenue.
That'd be nice.
Get that ad money for this channel. That'd be fantastic, folks. The more people that subscribe, and we're very, very close, we'll be able to open up our own store on YouTube where we can sell merch like the Sports Circle Maniacs T-shirt that I'm wearing right now. That I believe Don Wayne's wearing right now.
I am wearing it. I do love it.
There he is. Yes. We're two young men who, well, not young. We're two middle-aged men just wearing kids' clothing, just hanging out. That's what we're doing. Ooh, yeah.
We're fans, and Larry's got one too.
Block Larry has one. We hooked him, locked Larry up. And if you'd like to be hooked up also, we're going to mass produce these things eventually and sell them on our own YouTube store. We're this far away from getting there. But we need a few more subs, a few more subscriptions. And if you can hit us up with some subscriptions, it don't cost nothing, folks, for a subscription. I subscribe to so much shit that, how to shave your llama. I subscribe to that channel too. How to shave your llama. I don't own a llama. I don't care about llamas. It was interesting and peaceful to watch someone just shaving a llama down.
Okay.
How many people are going to search for that on YouTube? When we get
I don't know.
I guarantee about 12 people will.
Get the hell out of here.
You know what? You know who got caught? I'll tell you who got caught.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He got caught.
No, he did not.
He got caught at the Kemper Arena, backstage in the men's room, shaving a lobby. You know who that was?
No, he.
Only saying so long from the Sunshine State.